Have you ever wanted to visit one of the most famous national parks in all of America? So famous, in fact, that it attracts the attention of many thousands of people worldwide? Today I'm going to tell you about Sequoia National Park. Now, I have visited the Sequoia National Park twice in my life, and I have many great experiences there. Now today, I would like to tell you about the history of the park, the many attractions and things to do inside the park, and all the wildlife species that can be found inside the park. Now let me start by telling you a brief history of the park. The park was created on September 25th, 1890 by then President Benjamin Harrison. And he created the park to stop the logging efforts that had taken over the California countryside at that time. And here I've included a picture of just how vast the sequoia tree is and how much effort it would have taken to log. When he created this park, it spanned over 400,000 acres. And another interesting thing, and according to the National Park Service, it ranged in elevation from its lowest to maximum point, 13,100 feet. And according to the Visit California's official website, the park has 1.5 million visitors each year, with a large majority of those visitors coming from foreign places around the world. Also to note that the park in 1940 was joined by the Kings Canyon National Park. So if you go to the National Park Service website, it'll be called the Sequoia National Park and Kings Canyon Park. But today I'm just going to be talking about the Sequoia National Park. Also, it is the home of Mount Whitney, which is the highest mountain in the contiguous U.S. at over 14,000 feet. And here you can see just how large the saws were required to be in order to fell one of these large sequoia trees. Now that I've told you about the history of the park, let me tell you about all the unique attractions that can be found inside the Sequoia National Park. Obviously, there's the massive, beautiful sequoia trees. There's hiking, there's camping, there's museums. They even have ranger programs. And if you put in a request, the rangers can come to your school and they'll tell you a little bit about the national park and host a field trip. Now, according to the Visit Sequoia website, General Sherman, the most famous tree in Sequoia, is the largest living organism in all the world. And according to the USDA Forest Service website, the Sequoia National Park is the most diverse national park in all of America, and that is because of the wide range of climate that it faces. Being in the Sierra Nevada, you'll see rain, you'll see wind, you'll see snow, and you'll see very nice summers. And with that snow, there's skiing, snowmobiling, there's ice skating on some of the lakes and such. And here we see the Tocopah Falls, which are 1,200 feet long. Some brief facts about General Sherman. You can see its age and its size, and also the famous tree which you can drive under. This is Morro Rock, which people have gotten in trouble for base jumping off of. And this shows how accessible the park is because of all the funding so that the handicapped can visit the park. This would be the General Sherman Trail, which is 0.8 miles long, making it really easy to see General Sherman and get right back into your car if you wish. Now that I have told you about the attractions, let me show you about all the wildlife that you can find in these attractions. Here you see the wolverine, which is a very rare species in the park. Most likely you'll never see it. Then there's the coyote, the black bear, and when I went, I was fortunate enough to see a whole family of black bear. It was unfortunately a little too dark to get a great picture on an iPhone, but it was still a great experience to see it. There's also the mountain lion and the Sierra Nevada bighorn sheep. And according to the Sequoia National Park Conservation Program, the Sierra Nevada bighorn sheep are being reintroduced because they have not been there for so long. So now that you know the type of wildlife that you can find in the Sequoia National Park, you can be sure to be ready to photograph all the beautiful species that you can see in the park. So since I have told you about the history of Sequoia, the great attractions and things to do in the park, and the plethora of wildlife that you can see in the park, I hope that you use this newfound info and maybe go see the park one day. And like I did long ago, saw the park in all its beauty.
What is your favorite thing to do within the park?
My favorite thing to do is hike the General Sherman Trail. It is a very short trail, only 0.8 miles long, and since it is the largest grove in the park, largest in average size of the tree of the 33 groves in the park, you can quickly see General Sherman, and you can see some other large trees along the way.
Since the trees are so massive, are there pine cones? Are they huge too?
Well, contrary to what you would think, the pine cones of the sequoia tree are actually about the size of a ping pong ball. They're very small.
Can you still drive through the tree?
Unfortunately, you cannot. The one I show closed down recently, and the original one from original photographs, that tree fell due to lightning strikes.